Perspectives which we generally construct are called linear perspective, because everything is based on straight lines which appear to meet at 1 point or 2 point or 3 point. Okay, 1 point perspective, 2 point perspective, or 3 point perspective. So all these perspectives are called linear perspective. And how do you identify a linear perspective? You can join all the lines, all the points onto one single point or two single points in the perspective. Okay, so this is called linear perspective. So in linear perspective, there is always something called a ground plane. What you see, there is a ground always, and what divides the ground from the sky is the eye level. I told you that. So you always draw an eye level. See, what you see here is an eye level. Okay, so when you get this eye level here, like this is eye level. So you have a ground plane, and then you have, so what you see here is the ground plane. Below this line, there's a dark line, dark area above and a gray area below. So this is called the ground plane, and this is the sky. So you always decide a horizontal line, which is called the horizon or eye level, and then in the foreground is called the ground plane. All right, so this is to be remembered. So whenever you start drawing a perspective, first you decide how much of ground plane you want to see and how much of the sky you want to see. So if you bring the ground plane here, you can imagine the object will be more above, and you draw the ground plane here up to this line. So the most of the things that you will see will be your ground based, less on the sky based. So this is to be understood. Next is called the picture plane. Now picture plane is something which can be understood if I only give you a illustration. Imagine that you are holding a piece of glass in your hand, piece of glass, which you hold ahead of you. And whatever you are seeing, try to sketch on the glass. Is it possible to sketch? Hold a glass plane. Instead of a paper, you hold a glass plane before you, or put a big sheet of glass before you, stand before it and sketch whatever you see. So such a plane is called picture plane. Can you visualize this? Having a glass piece before you and sketching on it. Because through the glass you can see the other side. So try to sketch, tracing actually whatever you see on the other side, tracing onto the glass. Actually what you are doing is you are projecting everything on the other side onto the glass. Now, if you have understood, imagine that the glass plane keeps moving forward and backward. That means if the glass plane keeps moving towards the object, supposing you are sketching a tree and there is a glass plane before you and you are sketching on it. Imagine that the glass plane is moving towards the tree and your hand is becoming longer and longer so that you can reach the glass plane and sketch. What will happen? You will still be able to sketch. But the size of the tree that you draw on the glass plane will be bigger as you move the glass plane towards the tree. When the glass plane is closer to you, the sketch of the tree will be small. But when the glass plane moves towards the tree, the sketch will become bigger and bigger. Now this is called a picture plane. That means when you sketch something, the choice is with you how to sketch, how big to sketch. Choice is yours. You are seeing a tree before you, you are seeing a box before you. You can sketch it as big as you want or as small as you want. So when you sketch it as big on a piece of paper, it means that the picture plane is closer to the object. Try to understand this. If you are sketching an object very small on your sketching paper, the picture plane is far away from the object. So, and if the object that you sketch is more or less of the same size, it means that the picture plane is on the object. So this is something to be understood. This you will understand when you start sketching, how big or small you sketch the objects within your the frame of your paper. All right. So this is a concept which can be understood only by drawing. So what you see here, you are seeing two white planes here, two white planes. So this is just to indicate that okay, there is a picture plane here. If you draw on this surface, whatever you see behind, it will capture that as an image. So So this becomes a frame. Picture plane is actually a frame, an imaginary frame within which you sketch whatever you sketch, which you imagine to be existing on the other side of that glass or transparent picture plane. Okay. Third is the idea of eye level. Now, so far we have only sketched objects. What if you sketch people also in the sketch? One very simple way of sketching people in any sketch is, since you have decided that this is going to be the eye level, that is, this is the horizon. Look at this. In this sketch, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Eye level is the same for all of them, correct? Can you understand this? This man's eye level, this man's eye level, this lady's eye level, and this man's eye level, all are the same. But what is the difference between the human figures? Bigger and smaller. This man is standing very far away. This man is standing a little closer. This man is standing little distant. This lady is closest to you, correct? So you, from your point of view, all these people are standing in different positions in that view, but their eye level is the same. Is it clear? So it becomes very easy to draw human figure, because if you draw a head here, small head here, then proportionate to that small head, you will draw the body here, correct? So this means that you will draw a small figure here, but eye level is here. You draw another head here, slightly bigger head, and proportionate to that bigger head, you draw the body here. This man comes closer than this man. Now, similarly, same eye level, the eye level is the same. Eye is here, but you draw a bigger head here and a body proportionate to that head. So this person comes closest to you. Now, this is a trick for drawing human figures in a perspective. When you draw perspective, when you draw a sketch, this is the trick. If you understand what is eye level and you understand what is a vanishing point, the third thing to be understood is how to draw human figures proportionate to all that by using this trick. Draw a head which is slightly bigger and proportionate human figure. That means you should know how to draw proportionate human figure, body and leg and hand and everything. And when you draw, this man will become closer, this man is further away. Supposing you want to draw a man here, somewhere very close to this pillar. So eye level will be here, but man will be only so tall, such a tall person. Somewhere here, if you want to draw, it will be so tall. So this becomes a very easy way of drawing human figures. I hope you have understood this. So in your sketch next time, what you do next as a homework, you will try to insert human figures. You will draw the entire sketch first in pencil lightly, all the objects or furniture or whatever. Then draw the human figures as an outline first, and then erase whatever comes inside that. So just leave the outline only of the human figure. Don't draw the details of the human figure. Like this, you draw just the outline of the human figure as a proportionate figure, but leave the rest as finished sketch. Okay, so this way you will very easily quickly pick up how to draw human figures with respect to the eye level. So this is the third concept to be understood. Then I'll show you some simple example. Now here is a 1-point perspective of a frame. This is a frame through which a human figure can walk in. How do I know that a human figure can walk? Anybody who can tell me?
By inserting a human figure.
Yes, because the eye level is here. That means if a person is standing here, you can tell the person will be so tall. Head is here, and so this is what you have to do. You draw an object, a frame with respect to an eye level, then you can easily draw human figure. Now you can see the shadow here. So if you draw a human figure here, you will be able to draw the shadow of the figure. So explore this technique. If this eye level was not there, if this was not given, then this could be just an ordinary cardboard frame, not something which is proportionate to human figure. So you can try drawing such a frame with an eye level and draw 2-3 people, some people standing far away, some people standing here. This could also be a gateway to a space. This could be a gate actually. Another example. Now this was at 1-point perspective. Here you can see that if you project all this, it will meet at 1 point. So this is a 1-point perspective. Whereas the same frame becomes a 2-point perspective when you look at it like this, because see these edges are meeting somewhere here, somewhere at this end, and these edges are meeting somewhere at this end. So this is a 2-point perspective. So in 2-point perspective also, the principle of drawing human figure will remain the same. Wherever you draw, it will be with respect to the eye level. Only thing is, with respect to this vanishing point or this vanishing point, you can turn or turn. You can actually, human figure doesn't. It doesn't matter whether to which direction the human figure is actually vanishing as a figure, because it will become more or less a 3-dimensional shape. So this is a 2-point perspective. Try drawing a 2-point perspective of a frame like this and draw human figures around it. Okay, after deciding a eye level. So this is a 3-point perspective. How do you know that this is a 3-point perspective? Can you see 3 vanishing points in this?
Yes, sir.
See, you have one vanishing point on the left like this, second vanishing point onto the right like this edge and this edge like this. But there's a third vanishing point upwards. See, upwards. If you project this up. So how do you see in real life 3-point perspective? You go at a lower level of a tall structure. For example, a high-rise building or a tall building, you go at a lower level. Or even if a gateway, if you go and stand closer to the lower level of it, you will see 3 points. One to the left, one to the right, and one above. Similarly, if you go on top of a rooftop of a very tall building and look down from a corner, you have to stand at a corner in this case. Look down. Here, if you stand at this corner, you see one vanishing point on the left, one vanishing point on the right, and one above. If you go and stand on top of this building and look down from the corner, you will again see vanishing point onto the left, vanishing point onto the right, and vanishing point to the bottom from the top of this. So this is called 3-point perspective. If you want, you can practice this, but it is not compulsory. As far as designers are concerned, unless you are designing a high-rise building, tall building or something, you don't need to really practice 3-point perspective. This you can do later on, but practice 1-point and 2-point perspective. Now here are some examples of how to draw perspective of a circle. See, this is a circle. You see a circle in elevation like this, but in perspective it will look like an ellipse. Why? Because if you draw a square around it, about this circle, that square will not look like a square when it is kept on the ground. It will look like this. Why? The moment you draw this one side and project this to the vanishing point, project this to the vanishing point, the square will look like this. So to draw a perspective of a circle, what you have to draw is first draw a square in perspective, and within that connect the edges using an ellipse. So this is how you draw perspective of a circle. Similarly, perspective of a cylinder. See, here is a circle in elevation, but you can see the edge of the cylinder is vanishing towards the vanishing point, and this curve becomes parallel to this curve. So here is a perspective of a cylinder. This is a standing cylinder. You don't see the top and the bottom of it because your eye level is somewhere here. But you see this curvature, because what is this curvature? This curvature is actually the perspective of the bottom circle, and this curvature will be the perspective of the top circle. So this is how you draw perspective of a cylinder, which you are supposed to practice. You can even draw sketches like this. Draw a big cylinder, or this could be a pipeline and a man standing inside the pipeline. So use your imagination now to sketch. After constructing the perspective, insert human figures. Now, since this is eye level, you can easily draw a human figure here, as if this is a big, huge pipe and a man is standing inside that pipe. So use your imagination for all this. So here is an example where I have given the title here as central eye level. That means if you take this paper or this frame, where is the eye level drawn? It is drawn in the center of the page, center of the frame. So when you draw perspective like this, in which the ground area and the sky area both are equal areas, equal, then this is called central eye level. The ground is equal to the open sky above. And this is what is separating this eye level, or horizon is separating the emptiness and the ground. So this is called central eye level. Now this eye level can come down or can go up also. For example, here the high eye level has gone up. This means this is more like a bird's eye view. Can you understand this? This is a human eye view. This is a bird's eye view. Can you understand? Because you are high above in the air, you are slightly above. So this eye level has gone risen above. This is a low eye level. This is called a worm's eye view or a small child's eye view, because your eye level has come down below the central area. It would have been in the center here, but it has come down. So this looks like a lower eye level. So this is low eye level, this is high eye level, and this is central eye level. So try to construct perspective views with objects first. Draw some objects, like these objects. You can draw any objects. Draw objects, pillars. Don't draw anything else. Don't draw trees. Draw man-made objects like this, maybe pillars and pedestals, steps. And then try to insert human figures after drawing the perspective using the eye level as a guideline. Okay, so try to do this. So this is low eye level. So finally you can color it, you can sketch it, you can do so many things to the perspective. Once you complete it, you can do all this coloring. So this is a constructed perspective. This is not a sketch, freehand sketch, but very properly constructed perspective, because you can see here, you can see very good depth here. You can see this as the horizon line, and you can see changing depths.